Swami Satyananda Saraswati, Kṛiya Yoga, an introduction. We all have potential beyond our wildest dreams, but much of this potential remains untapped. Each person has the ability to experience different levels of consciousness. But most of us live in the lower levels without experiencing the higher levels of existence or even believing that they exist. Many people are unhappy and dissatisfied in the world, yet they are not sure what is lacking in their lives. The underlying reason for this unhappiness is our attachment to the material plane of existence. Once we get a glimpse of the higher realms of consciousness, our unhappiness and dissatisfaction automatically disappear. Various systems of yoga, such as Raja Yoga, Kundalini Yoga, and others, are widely practiced around the world. They all aim for a transcendental state where you begin to commune with your inner self. Most systems emphasize the importance of concentration as a means of withdrawing consciousness from the external environment and directing it to the deepest regions of the mind. Without getting too involved in the field of semantics, let's first define what is commonly understood as concentration. It means focusing your consciousness towards a point, either external or internal, to the exclusion of all other topics or thoughts. Now, this is not such an easy process because our consciousness, which is connected to our mind, is used to moving from one point to the next, from one object to another. All our attempts to conquer the consciousness and make it stay at one point strain the mind, resulting in tension and frustration due to the inability to curb the mind's wandering tendencies. If you observe yourself, you will realize that your consciousness has a natural tendency to move from one object to the next with varying degrees of awareness. You will convince yourself of this fact if you try to concentrate on one thing for a few minutes. You will become conscious of an endless stream of thoughts, some seemingly related to each other and others not connected at all. The occurrence of these unconnected thoughts is known as distraction, vikshepa, and is a limitation of the mind. Many yoga systems tell you to place an object in front of you or visualize an internal image and focus on it and look at it. You will begin to explore the depths of the mind's subconscious, and while this method can be accurate and bring amazing experiences, it does not take into account the wandering tendencies of our consciousness that make concentration impossible for most people. Concentration is only possible when you are very relaxed, both mentally and physically. Most people can't relax, or if they do, it's rare. For this reason, the mind is constantly projecting various streams of thoughts into conscious awareness. Therefore, it is impossible to ask most people to concentrate, and if they try to concentrate, they tend to try to suppress the distractions of the mind and create even more tension in themselves. Concentration is something that happens naturally in a very relaxed mind and body. Until relaxation is achieved, concentration, that is, true focus, is impossible. A system is needed to gradually lead a person into a deeper state. One relaxes until concentration becomes a voluntary activity of consciousness. This system is the system of Kṛiya Yoga. Before we talk about Kṛiya Yoga, let's briefly discuss where concentration or relaxed focus takes us. The fruit or culmination of deep concentration is the occurrence of a voluntary meditative state. Most people have heard of meditation, but few have actually experienced it. It occurs only in a state of almost abnormal relaxation and high conscious arousal of both mind and body. Yes, that's right. Unusual is the right word, because most people do not experience a state of deep relaxation. Even while sleeping, they are plagued by unconscious worries, phobias, fears, etc. Many people think they are meditating, but in fact they may not be. Modern scientific equipment can also show whether a person is in a meditative state. This equipment measures patterns of electrical waves emitted by the brain. The frequency and amplitude of these brain waves indicate the inner state of the mind. During concentration, there is a continuity of consciousness, and this state increases the power of our subconscious mind. Psychological patterns hidden in the subconscious mind begin to emerge. Usually, due to mental confusion, we are unable to contact or express our inner forces. During periods of deep concentration, we begin to understand the deeper aspects of our being, so the fruits of concentration are considerable. Many people, whether they've experienced meditation or not, know that if they could just concentrate deeply, great things would happen. But they don't relax, so they force their consciousness to stay in one spot. Of course, they are just following the instructions of most yoga or yoga teacher systems. They don't realize that the yoga system is right and that it presupposes a reasonable level of relaxation that most people don't reach. The result of this forced concentration is greater tension and frustration. Meditation avoids them. To reiterate, there's nothing wrong with it. The reason it doesn't bring results in most cases is because people aren't ready for it. Most people have too much clutter in their minds to be able to focus. Once the deep-rooted complexes that most of us are not aware of are removed, relaxation becomes possible. It becomes natural and deep. Meditation begins to happen on its own. No effort is required. Questions like, how can most people learn to explore their minds, arise? What do I do if I can't focus? How can I have a meditative experience? This is where Kṛiya yoga comes in. Kṛiya yoga seems to ignore or contradict the basic rules of yoga. They are, don't try to center your mind. Don't make any effort to be one-dimensional. Allow your consciousness to move freely, but try to follow the prescribed internal movements. Kṛiya yoga accepts the limitations of most people. If you can't concentrate, you have to use a different method to achieve the same end result. Kṛiya yoga is more concerned with awareness than concentration. What does awareness mean? Awareness means conscious attention to a thought or object, whether external or internal, not necessarily directed at one place. At the same time, and most importantly, the word awareness implies that an individual knows that their attention is on a particular place or set of thoughts. The word implies a relationship between the perceptual activity and the perceiver. If a person does not know that he is aware of something, he is not aware of it. Awareness means that the individual does not attempt to stifle the stream of thoughts that constantly arise. Even if they have nothing to do with the direction of his perception, he merely allows them to arise and pass away, remaining a witness to them. Other people may understand something else by the word awareness, but what we mean is the previous description. If a person is relaxed enough, especially in the deeper layers of the subconscious, awareness will lead to single-pointed focus or concentration. Kṛiya yoga does not presuppose concentration or the withdrawal of awareness of the external environment, so it is more suitable for most people today. Because they are used to extroversion and an awareness that tends to move here and there and not stay at one point to the exclusion of others. If you can't focus and your conscious awareness jumps here and there, it doesn't matter, don't worry or get frustrated. Just keep practicing Kṛiya yoga. Kṛiya yoga doesn't ask you to withdraw your mind to a single point. It asks you to do the exact opposite, to actually move your awareness, to rotate your consciousness from one point to another. The word Kṛiya means activity or movement, and in this context it means activity or movement of awareness or consciousness. The word Kṛiya also means practical or preliminary, and in this sense it refers to the preliminary practices that lead to yoga. Yoga here refers to the culmination, union, and end result of the practice, not the process as we usually understand it. So, as we've already explained, unlike other forms of yoga, Kṛiya yoga doesn't ask you to suppress mental agitation, but rather to intentionally create activity in your consciousness. In this way, the mental functions are harmonized, the full potential is realized, and coordination between the nervous system and the brain is achieved. The roots of Kṛiya yoga practice date back to ancient times and evolve slowly over a period of time through practice and experience. Eventually, the practices or Kṛiyas were written down and can still be found in numerous tantric scriptures. These were written in Sanskrit, and only a few have been translated into other languages to date. The complete form of Kṛiya yoga consists of a combination of more than 30 Kṛiyas. Of these Kṛiyas, about 20 are commonly known. Kṛiya yoga has been taught to many people around the world. Many have gained amazing benefits, while others have gained little or nothing, despite practicing it regularly and enthusiastically. The fault usually lies in the order of the practice. If the order is wrong, the Kṛiya yoga system loses its full power, because the different Kṛiyas have a close relationship with each other. Think of music as an analogy. There are a certain number of notes. If you play these notes in a certain order, you can create beautiful music.